Y'all already know what time it is. You are now tuned in with your guy. Wait till they get that. Two men having a conversation. We're doing something different for anybody that jump on here and you probably waiting for it to get to the meat and potatoes. This is the beginning. As y'all know, I've only done this once or twice, so we're trying to get it together. So if you jump on here and if you hear the sound, let me know. If you don't hear the sound, let me know. Either way, let me know. And
So my mic is on too now. It's not getting the.
It's not running. You can't hear it.
I mean, it's not getting the
Okay. Bet. Y'all go subscribe to Dear Son Network. That's the game. Y'all go subscribe. What's going on with you? Morning. We're trying to transfer this traffic, man. We're trying to get y'all involved in these conversations. Let me know.
Feedback.
Can you hear me, Roger? That's really all we need to know before we go. Can you hear me? What's going on with you? Can you hear me? What's up? Can y'all hear me? They can hear us.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Do my checks again.
Yes, sir.
Get the audio recording. Audio is recording. Camera 1, camera 2 is recording. Backup is backing up.
Yes, sir. Y'all go subscribe to Dear Son Network. If you on the live right now, if you tuning in right now, go subscribe to the channel that I'm locked in with. Dear Son Network. Everybody go subscribe to the channel. We good. That's right.
Appreciate
you. Yes, sir.
So you jumped it off last time.
Bet. We good.
Bro said you don't know what you're doing. Get that.
Good morning. Good morning. Y'all already know what time it is. Once again, you are tuned in with two men just having a real conversation. We don't got the name of the podcast, but most definitely, and for sure, you're going to get you some substance. So if you got any ideas you want to give us, you can drop them in the comment section. Let us know. They count as engagement, so all that count. And most definitely, before we even get started, like, share, and hit that subscribe button. You are now tuned in. Dear Son Network.
What to do? D. John's in the building.
Man, how you feeling?
I feel good, man. Kids out of school today, so I don't have the ripping and running to do like I normally do. So we good, man. How you feeling?
I'm great. And my Travis told me the kids was out of school today. What's it for?
It wasn't cold enough days. They got snow days built in, and if you don't use them, they start, I guess, like liquidating them over time at certain points.
Oh, okay.
So they only,
I
think they only use 2 of maybe the 5 that they get. So yeah. I found out yesterday that my kids have school today.
Okay.
Which made sense because my son's, the Valentine's party they had was on Wednesday, and we didn't send them with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
We thought Friday,
okay,
they would do it, but they came home yesterday. My oldest son was like, I got a 4-day weekend. I said, nah, you off Monday.
Yeah.
But tomorrow you.
Yeah.
He said, nah. Okay.
Yeah. When Travis hit me yesterday, it seemed like he got that same surprise. I think he just found out yesterday. It's like, man, they ain't got school tomorrow. So
like they told the kids first.
Yeah. But yeah, man, we locked in, man. And my guy, everybody go subscribe to the channel. I'm talking about people on YouTube. This is our what? 4th, 5th?
5th recorded, 3rd for this particular series.
For this,
the unnamed series. So again, drop some comments. Some comments came through for the last couple videos. Some decent names, but we're still looking.
Yeah. And it's been good conversation, man. Good chemistry, and we plan on continuing to grow. And we just sit down, and we don't really plan what we're finna talk about. But normally through the week, things happen. And this week, something happened.
Let's talk about it.
First,
we're talking about what you made happen. We're talking about the world, because the world be serving us topics, but you kind of cooked up the topic yourself.
Give us what the world gave us. Then I'm gonna go to the topic.
The world gave us a Super Bowl. That's that news cycle is kind of done with the whole Kendrick.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not being dismissive. Somebody told me my tone was dismissive in the last podcast. I said I got to go back and check myself. So you dismissive to the black people? The blacks? Me? Nah, no.
What exactly do you feel they meant by that?
I asked them.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the return. I was like, I'm D. Johns, right?
Yeah.
I won't really cooking up no controversy.
Right.
Anyhow, I love it though, because when they talking, they talking.
Oh yeah. Any kind of conversation is good conversation, good or bad, especially when you're talking about the internet.
And I'm not attached to it, so my skin thick, my head big. I'd have heard it all.
Mine big too. I was gonna take my head out real quick and let y'all see, but my hair ain't yet, and it's a little thin at the top. But I did come up with a hot topic, man.
Hot cooking.
It on fire.
Cooked up.
I felt like I was gonna get canceled, bro.
There was some comments suggesting that.
I was most definitely like, but I was like, you know what? If they run off, I feel like you was never with me from the beginning, because I done said a lot of things that done, I guess, been offensive in certain areas.
Yeah, but here's the flip side of that.
Yeah,
I just connected with you.
Yeah,
I said, "Am I down the toilet too?"
Oh,
I ain't even know yet. They didn't flush before they pee.
I'm glad you even brought it up, because when you connected to people, you got to be aware of that too.
I'm fine with it. This ain't haphazard.
Yeah. But I hit the conversation of Section 8. Section 8. And in the post, I said, I got some people that I love dearly that's on Section 8. But I said, if you've been on it for all of this time, and I said become a millionaire, but basically when I'm saying become a millionaire, I'm saying if you ain't got to a stable place in your life, I said, get out. Put them out. Then lastly, I said, Facebook, do your thing. And I put the money mark. I put the money emoji.
So I'm still learning. What that mean?
That meant I done it.
Serve them up.
Because I knew it was going to start a conversation.
Okay. I said Facebook, do. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I knew it was going to go crazy. But I do feel like in context, what I was saying was, if you've been taking advantage of the system, as Black people, the first thing we run to is they've been doing it.
Yeah, true.
But when you say they've been doing it, they did it and got up. You did it and stayed in the same predicament over a course of 10 years.
Why do we use they as such a convenience? Like, we use they to backtrack, to backpedal out of anything that we don't want to take accountability for.
Man, come on.
Why is that the barometer for our life? They did it.
Entitlement, man. I think it stems from, we want to feel entitled to everything with no accountability whatsoever. Whatever we do is justified in the name of they.
They. I never met they.
I don't know who they is neither. I know who they
be around, but I ain't never seen them.
I ain't never seen them. Honestly, even in that conversation, there are some of us who believe we can't even use that no more, because we're in a generation now where if you're choosing to do something with your life, you can do it.
True.
You can get up. You can become, even though we know systematic racism still exists, but we don't have those walls and gaps and bridges that's really keeping us from becoming more to that extent as it did back then. You agree?
More access to information, more access to resources, and what I'm learning through content picking up in terms of what's happening in the comments is that people read the words that they care to read. Because your whole point was, if you're taking advantage of it, and I actually saw people showing up in the comments saying, yeah, I took advantage of it. System crazy. It would allow you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I have family too. Mm-hmm. So if that makes it clear on as to what side or to what my sensitivity is, I definitely have family that's been on it too, that's been on it for several kids. And that's a way of life. And it's almost like the kids see that as a way of life for them as well. I think that's what you're talking about, is when you adopt it as a lifestyle, not as a stepping stone or as a help. Everybody needs help. Most people, I don't do the whole self-made thing. I stay away from people. Are you self-made?
No.
Okay, cool. Because we have to end this right now. Because there's too much arrogance for me, and I know for a fact what the part that God has to play in anything that's going to be that has some longevity. So it's not about people not needing help and help being bad for people. But if you adopt it as, I'm planning my life, or I'm planning how I'm gonna have kids around this, I'm planning how I'm gonna interact with the world around this thing. That's why.
Man, commercial break me one time for the one time. See, that's really why I mess with you, bro. You articulate well your thought process. That's why they say you dismiss it to the black community. I don't even understand what they like. You very thoughtful in the things you say. You can tell you educated. You know what I'm saying? So if you ain't already locked into the podcast, y'all already know what time it is. Go hit that button and go lock into the podcast, man.
One time.
This network. Bro, I did take the time. By the time it started spinning out of control, sometimes I'll delete it, but it don't be because I can't handle the backlash.
Right.
It be because I don't like when conversations spiral out of control with no context.
Yeah.
And regardless of what you say, now you have a war going on with people who seeing other people they agree with and automatically think this conversation is leaning towards we versus us having coming to a common ground or coming to an understanding. It's just done spiral out of control.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I'll delete it and then people will jump in my inbox and say, you deleted it, you could apologize. Now that ain't why I deleted it. I stand on what I said. But I took the time with this one, like I do sometimes, and I went through and I guess say hear people out. People brought up disability. That's out of context. I never said that.
What?
People brought up people who are poor. It was out of context. I never said that. People brought up people with children and all of these other. I never said none of those things. I said in the context. People who are taking advantage. So this is my question to you, Dion. Do you agree that it's okay to be on government assistance of any kind and it's designed to help you get ahead, but you still have the same lifestyle? You still buying Jordans, you can't afford them. You still partying, you can't afford them. You still traveling, you can't afford it. You still got all these things in your shopping cart that you can't afford it. But you've been on this government assistance for all this time, and you're spending your money in the name of, now you want to blame the system because I guess they enabled you in a sense, because now you don't even realize
they forced that baby on you.
They forced that baby on you, and now do you agree with the mindset?
Ooh-wee. I thought you was going somewhere else, like they're on it and then the rug gets pulled out from under and what do they do? But you're saying that they're actually blaming the system for the mindset that they've adopted. That's wild.
I actually had somebody hit me up. Yeah.
That is unaccountability at its finest.
At its finest.
That's so I can get it in a parent-child relationship where the child is totally dependent. The child has not reached an age of reason where they can think things through for themselves and understand responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
But as an adult, to be on that program and to blame the program for your bad behaviors, when you're and I wonder for some how many of it is continuing a lifestyle or seeing this help as a come up and then going into that lifestyle. Now I got the money to buy the Jordans. Now I got the money to buy the sneakers. I get what the culture does in terms of suggesting that having a thing gives you status. Like when I got older, I bought all the Jordans that I never could have because my parents wouldn't buy. That thing, I get it.
Right.
But I worked. And then I did that with the money that was after the bills and all of that. So to suggest that I am this way because you helped me and I didn't take the time or the accountability to help myself during that period is a wild take for me.
Yeah.
I can't get it.
I saw people in the comments bring up that the program is designed to the point of where if you make a certain amount of money, they'll cut it off.
Yeah.
And when I'm when I'm reading that, this goes to the conversation of, I guess when I was saying you should be a millionaire, not saying literally that you should be further along, they were saying that the program is not designed that way because after you. Now, when it comes to black folks, this is where I feel some type of way. Because I know plenty of people on Section 8, and you're supposed to have multiple people. You're not supposed to have certain people living with you. You're on Section 8, you got 2-3 other people living with you with jobs. You probably got somebody in there to do hair, do nails. You got a side hustle. You got but you want to keep bringing up that one stipulation that's in the black and white. But we ain't having a conversation about how many years you been there and you got your tax money, 5, 6, 7 years in a row, and you done got 6,700, 10,000, and then the other 2 people living with you got. So around tax time, every year you got about $10,000, $15,000 in the house.
But before you actually get your tax, like they'll advance you this money.
Yeah,
The tax places will advance you 3,000 to 5,000, depending on what your situation is.
and in that conversation, everybody was.
So here's the thing, bro. If like I get running game, I get a play.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're gonna be in the game, you can't be mad at the rules that come with the game.
Right.
That's like when people are mad when IG is acting up or Facebook. It's free.
Mm-hmm.
This is something given to you to use.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't invested anything other than your time that you're willing, to exchange information with other people.
Mm-hmm.
But if something is given to you to help you get ahead and you choose not to,
Mm-hmm.
when that thing is pulled away, like what are we talking? And again, this is not about for those that actually need it. This is about for those that are. I think we got to keep saying that.
You have to
keep running game on the system.
No, you have to. You have to, because one thing for sure, 2 things for certain, man. When it comes to taking things out, people want all the conversations to be one. It was some stories on there that touched my heart when it came to disability. I was watching people respond to the people with disability. And let me tell you something. I apologize to anybody who felt like, you know what I'm saying, I was taking a shot. I can say that. But at the same time, I know that ain't where my heart was.
Yeah.
Now, let's have an accountability conversation, because I turned around and did a live on it and I brought up a lot of scripture. And I saw people still respond, very few respond and say things like, the Most High is for the poor. We're supposed to help the poor. A lot of people were saying that I was lacking humility. A lot of people was talking about do all things in love.
Mm-hmm.
And in those conversations, I still saw a lack of accountability, using the scripture to benefit the narrative of how they feel at the time versus applying in the context of what I was saying. There are several scriptures that will go with laziness, slack hand, poverty, and it'll also talk about mindsets. If you're saying you believe, because what I was saying, if you're saying you believe in the King, you're saying you believe in the Word, then you believe in the new man, the new mindset, becoming a doer. You believe in applying yourself. Go ahead.
That's the key word, applying yourself.
Where do we get off on trying to put God in a more natural human sense, going to he understand everything, that you can take advantage of him in every single way, do what you want to do, how you want to do it, and then cry wolf and say, we're poor. No. You are able bodied. You're the way you articulate things and do things to get over on the system. Just imagine what you could do if you use that same energy. Because I'm one of them. So when I speak about it, I'm coming from a place of, I was a product of my environment. I turned what was perverted to use it for good, and got better results.
Yeah. I think sometimes we confuse free will with God's will. We try to make the way we are, we blame it on God. Like God made you anyway. That's not necessarily the way that you are. Because we deviate from his word and from his will. So to suggest that whatever situation you're in is because God wants you to be in that situation, I can't jack that. That was this. That's one thing that's always been clear to me, is that when my life is out of whack, specifically with his will, I never had the audacity to say that God has me here.
Oh, that's real.
God is with me while I'm here. I put myself in a situation. I'm not saying God doesn't put you in certain situations. If you look at Paul and all of those, individuals, the disciples of the Bible, they clearly, he had them go through some things. I don't think that's necessarily the case with us all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I made these decisions that got
Mhm.
me where I'm at, even today.
Mhm.
And as we go through our conversations, people understand more about my life
Mm-hmm.
and how sweet it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
But these are, I've always had the mindset of being accountable. And maybe it's because of my foundation and my upbringing
Mm-hmm.
that I can't blame God for my decisions.
Mm-hmm.
I can ask for his help and assistance to guide me out of them because I can't get myself out of this. But to suggest that wherever you are in life as a collection of things that you have done willingly
Mm.
is what God did to you, I'm not with it.
No go.
Not
If
with it.
if that's the case, then we don't think there's a consequence to disobedience.
Right. Right. Yeah.
If you would have to have that conversation about your health. You would have to have that conversation about
Which is my
your
story.
friends.
Yeah.
You would have to have that conversation about your spouse. You would have to have all of these conversations and exclude not heeding. Let's just go with health. I've been drinking a lot of tea with natural herbs
Mhm.
to help with headaches, anxiety, inflammation, um, a lot of things. And I can honestly say I feel better.
Mhm.
I feel my mind is clear, my body, you know what I'm saying, my energy. And after all of these years of doing it the way I've been doing it, a lot of this stuff is not healthy for me.
Yeah.
So to wake up and say, man, I don't feel good and just keep doing it, that's who how am I get to blame God for that? Versus versus him telling me how to eat. Same thing with my finances. I have a lineage of people who mismanage
Well,
funds.
my street.
I'm talking about awful with money.
Talking about me.
Mm-hmm.
Awfully done with finances and health. Last year, for the first time, I really thought I was on my way to death.
Mm.
And my dad, we were on a FaceTime call one night, which is not anything out of the ordinary. But he looked at me and he said, "Son, you remind me of how my father looked when he was dying."
Mm.
My dad is telling me this like face to face, like through the video, but on the phone, I'm like,
cut and dry.
Wait a minute, you got better words than that, bro. I mean,
Right.
your son looked like he died,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to respect it because he lost his dad when he was. My dad was 20, and his dad was 46.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 45.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was 44 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So he was saying, "You're coming into that window. These things happen in our family. What are you doing?" And it wasn't like the one day he got on the phone. He saw like my health was declining over time, and we're rebounding now. But it was a combination of the lifestyle I was living that I actually knew better than.
Yeah.
And then I stopped going to the doctor. I stopped accepting the information. I stopped seeking the information because ignorance is bliss.
Mm-hmm.
It'll take you to your grave, but you enjoy it on the way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these are all things that I did. So now when I go back to the doctor and they say, you're in save organ mode, not healthy mode. We don't want you to lose organs, become diabetic.
Yeah.
It's like, we don't want you to lose organs over this thing. And all the things that kept replaying to me was, I had a chance. In 2018, God gave me a chance. Like I went to the doctor and they thought I was on my way to a diabetic coma. I actually drove to that doctor's office.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let me drive home. So I changed my lifestyle then, diet and exercise, came off medicine, but then I relapsed.
So it was working.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, diet and exercise. It was like I'm not pro medicine. This is not advice, but I know for my life, I was able to control it with diet and exercise. I was getting to it 5 times a week. I cut a bunch of stuff out of my diet, but I started feeling myself. It was me doing it. Then I relapsed. 1 week off becomes 2 weeks, becomes a month, becomes half a year. My weight was going back up. I told you I almost used to be 300 pounds.
Yeah.
So it was when you come to those low points and you realize that like your natural instinct is to be angry at somebody. You typically don't want to be angry at you first.
Yeah.
So you choose the people around you, you lash out, or you take it to God as, God, why are you allowing, why did you do this to me? But I had to be honest with myself that all these you had a chance and you effed it up. And now you have no excuse.
Yeah.
And the thing is, now the rebound is harder because I'm older.
Mm.
So I didn't mean to go long-winded on that, but like
That was heavy.
I mean, you never know what somebody's struggle is, and that's the thing when we're talking about that. I hope people are mindful of is you're only talking about one subject at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So when people jump in the comments and start bringing other parts of life into it, well, are you doing it? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we'll get to that at some point. But right now we're talking about this thing, so don't take this one thing and pit it against every other thing that somebody else might be doing.
Not for real. Yeah, that was heavy, man. I'm glad you shared that. You said you said on both roles, the finances too?
Damn, I just screwed some. Bro.
You and me both. You and me both.
I mean, and to have so me losing my employment was not on me. We got bought out by we got bought out by another company, and I was pretty much at the top of my organization. That's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
The company that buys you makes the decisions.
Mm-hmm.
We want to keep these people, so that happened. But even then, I had an opportunity to do something great.
Yeah.
And I chose to chill.
Yeah.
In my mind, I was saying, I'm going to be this entrepreneur and I'm going to do this thing. But I saw the bank account. And as foolish as it is, it didn't click to me until that number dropped below. It's like, wait a minute, we got 3 months of money left. Oh,
yeah.
We ain't. Then my wife went back to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that's a first world problem, and it seems like I would love to have that problem. Problems are problems, people.
Most definitely.
And when you got a family of 7,
yeah,
and you're the only provider,
yeah,
like that's a heavy thing.
That's heavy.
Every day.
I know.
Every day.
7, I know it's heavy.
So if you wonder why these Johns he be on it. I'm trying to get back.
No, that's real. I respect that. I respect that. Going back to the Section 8, when you said it's 3 months worth of, it's people who've had 5 years to get in a position you watched over time. Now you're in a panic. For one, let me say this before I say that. When I say that, Black people automatically make it a conversation only about them, as if Hispanics, whites, and other people are not in this conversation, and then they make it like you're constantly downing your own people. If I'm right, I think I looked at the statistics. There might be more white people than blacks.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Because that spans the block to my life. Why does that matter? Whatever the stat is for them, historically hasn't benefited us in any sense.
Facts.
That's like saying I identify as. I identify as a middle-aged white man that's a millionaire with an 850 credit score. What does that get me by saying that?
Nothing.
I can't take that to the bank and
facts.
You know what I'm saying? So like I get it, be aware of it. I'm not completely aloof to other people are taking advantage of the system, but how does that matter if when you were in prison and your defense was, but he committed a crime too? What did that get you?
Nothing. Nothing. I think it stemmed back to them wanting a sense of entitlement and a sense of awareness of knowing majority of us are taking advantage, knowing the majority of us in that conversation, not Black people in a whole, because I already know that run off on us. In that predicament, have not made or even tried to. Y'all know I ain't scared of you. Try to make the best of that situation. Now, I got friends and family members that listen to me, that has been on this thing for years, raised generations on this thing. It was one lady who brought up, well, I guess you don't care about if they kick them out and kids being homeless. I said, we can have 2 conversations about that.
I think I know one.
I said, I can bring up the conversation and say, if they stay, the mindset still awful going into later on in the future, being in a worse predicament or whatever the case may be. That's a 2-way conversation. It's a lose-lose. Whether they homeless or stay there, they still lost. And then becoming a product of the environment I'm talking about the drugs, the alcohol, all the other things that come in that conversation. You just want to talk about them being homeless because the parent misleading, ain't taking it like
the able-bodied, capable parent. Again, because we're not talking about people that are special assistants
in the context.
But because the other part of that comment, maybe it's the third side of that conversation I thought you were going to go to is what is the onus of that parent for not getting that child out of that situation over the 5 or 6 years that you've been able-bodied to do some stuff.
Exactly.
I saw people talking about in their comments calculating how much money they can make to stay under. So I quit my job at this time. I made sure that I started working in this month and started working in that month. I think that's the heart of what you're talking about. And if you're going to run game, you got to take what the game gives you.
You got to take what the game gives you. And I saw several women in there who talked about seeing that and was like, I'm getting off of it. There was one lady, I read it this morning. She said she makes 6 figures a year now. She realized, no, I'm going to get off of this. I think she said she had multiple businesses. And she said this would have never happened had I not left Section 8, realizing what she was capable of doing versus saying, I don't have to do as much. I'm going to keep quitting these jobs. I'm going to quit. And then your kids in Jordans. You got designer. All these things. Because I asked one person, okay, let's calculate your expenses. Commercial break me, please. If y'all ain't subscribed to my guy channel, this network, go subscribe to the channel real quick. We jumped on here. We jumped on the line because we're trying to get y'all to come over so y'all can see what's going on. What's going on with you, Lo? Y'all go lock in, man. My guy, got a conversation for you. I promise you. Our interview is dope, but he got other interviews on there that's dope as well, man. Y'all go check out the podcast. Go subscribe, man. We're going to keep this thing rolling. I would love to ask people who are on Section 8 that are taking advantage. If we calculated your finances over the course of a year, your miscellaneous spending, and how much that is, and how many times you didn't say no to going out, to traveling, or to your kids who's not understanding the value and the importance of how to budget and how to save. Because there's a lot of parents who we talking about in the context, because I'm going to take this as taking advantage. Not being you ain't parenting in a healthy way by saying yes, 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 knowing you can put that money back. Jordan's 150. You probably buying 6 or 7 of them a year. LLC is that same amount. Less than. You can get an LLC if I'm recalling right now. I think through Taylor Brand. Cause I'm gonna give you some game too. Cause a lot of people be trying to say you saying all this, well, what you doing to help? You can get an LLC, let's say for $750. You can then go to IRS.gov, get your EIN for free. Then from there, you can go open up a business bank account. Once you get the business bank account, I know a lot of people then gonna turn around and say, well, don't your credit gotta be? That's right. I didn't hire no credit guru to rebuild my credit. My credit score when I started fixing my credit was like a 610. I got Experian, which was $35, which to me is an investment.
Yeah, to monitor.
If I'll pay for subscriptions on Netflix and all this, but I won't invest $35 to go in here where I can report and dispute myself, because that's the only thing the credit guru are doing.
Yeah.
The letters that they writing, they finding these templates and information online, and they just mailing them. It take 15 minutes. You could go and repair your credit, get the LLC, get the EIN, get the business bank account, repair your own credit. Take the money that you making. If you got a side hustle or your job, go take $300-400 out of your account. Go deposit it in your bank account. It's going to show us cash flow as a deposit. Over the course of 6 months, if you've been doing your research, if you want to start a business or you want to do something, do your research on whatever it is you want to do in the process of you making them deposits. Go to the bank, get you a $5,000-10,000 loan to start up. But that ain't going to help you if you have the same mindset about money when the bank give it to you.
Yeah.
Because you're going to think, man, I ain't had this opportunity. So I'm going to have me a little fun first.
The business Jordans. These are Jordans for the business.
Yeah, and then and then you go realize, yeah, you've been using your bank credit card for write-offs with the food and some of the clothes and this and that. But then you go look up and realize you ain't got no money to start the business. And now you're in debt.
Do your research.
And now you having another conversation talk about how they done you wrong.
Let me give you a hack to something that you said, because that when you said it hurt my heart. You said $750 for the LLC. To form an LLC in any state is typically with the State Corporation Commission.
Mm-hmm.
The fee associated with that application is minimum in every state.
Mm.
So I think I know in Virginia it was 100 because that's what I'm familiar with. I think in Texas it might have been somewhere between 1 and 150.
Mm-hmm.
Everything on top of that, with that other 750, is the company creating a form that matches the form that the state has, where you just input the information.
Wow.
And you gave them $500.
Wow.
To just input that. Only the form filed can get you the LLC.
Wow.
It doesn't matter who does it. It does, and then they'll sell you an embossed stamp for $300 upgrade.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Do your research.
Yeah.
Do your research, but
So I can start that company. I could do that for people who don't like to do their research for themselves. Basically,
convenience pays.
Convenience pays. Same thing with the taxes.
Keep going. I got
we're
gonna jump off or we're gonna stay on?
No, I'm finna get ready to jump off now. Hey,
because my battery about to die.
Commercial break, man. One more time for the one time, man. We're finna get ready to get out of here, man. For everybody who joined in the live, if you on the live, go subscribe to the channel. It's already locked in. Only thing you gotta do is hit it, go subscribe. To the people who are watching this after we upload this, man, go subscribe to the podcast Dear Son Network, man. I really appreciate y'all, man.
Thank you.
We just kicking game and listen to them. I promise you, my guy, you can go get fed. If you like to feed your spirit, learn, man, my guy gonna feed you. So y'all go tune in. Y'all know what time it is. You got your tea and
D. Johns out of here.
For sure.